The cursor is blinking, one keystroke away from moving $1 billion across 11 jurisdictions in 4.3 seconds, and leaving no trace an auditor will find in the next 18 months. The room is dark, not cinematic dark. Just dark the way rooms get when you stop caring about the lights 3 hours ago. Your coffee went cold at 2:17 a.m. the second the routing confirmation came back clean. The target is a sovereign wealth fund. 38 million people's money. A compliance team. A cybersecurity contract with a firm whose name is in every trade publication. A firewall that took 14 months and $62 million to build. You spent 11 months finding the one gap they missed. Your partner, Alec, built the money's escape route. For months of work, on hardware that's never touched a network you've used. Alec doesn't rush. He never has. Everything he's built has held. Your finger is on the key. You press it. The cursor stops blinking. To understand how you got here, we have to go back to the number that started it all, 0.003 cents. Level 1, the retail skimmer. Back row cubicle. Mid-market brokerage. 40,000 retail accounts. Regular people's index funds and retirement savings. Your job, watch the overnight interest engine. It calculates interest to 6 decimal places, but the platform only displays 4. Those last 2 decimals, a fraction of a cent, every account, every night, get rounded off and vanish into a ledger no one audits. Because the amounts are too small to matter, you redirect them instead. 11 lines of code, run from a dormant maintenance login, nobody remembered to deactivate. The rounding residue now flows into a fee offset buffer, a completely normal, completely ignored piece of platform architecture. Auditors never look twice at buffers built to absorb rounding noise. Across 40,000 accounts, $11 to $14 a night. Run the math on a year. Over $4,000, from numbers too small for a single human being to ever notice. Then you find the commission table. Same blind spot, same trick. Another $18,000 a year, $60 at a time, from fractions of a cent nobody will ever chase. 90 days later, Alec closes the account. One transfer under $8,000 to a real name, a consenting accomplice, a clean bank record. That afternoon, Alec visits the building. For minutes, a public water fountain on a ledge above the mail slots. He leaves exact change. A quarter, 2 dimes, a nickel, 50 cents. You walk past it and keep walking. But you understand what it means. The system was built to catch greed. Nobody built a system to catch arithmetic. You start looking for the next level. Level 2, corporate embezzlement. The hedge fund's name means nothing. 12 forgettable letters on purpose. You're the internal reporting analyst. Every month, you reconcile the fund's positions against the prime broker. The CFO reads a summary page. The administrator flags anything that moves more than 2 standard deviations. Everything else is furniture. You live in the furniture. 60 of the fund's 400 positions haven't moved in months. Legacy holds nobody's watching. You pick 8. Inside them, you plant phantom trades. Executions that generate real internal fee credits, but were never confirmed by any outside counterparty. Those fee credits route to a shell research consulting entity Alec incorporated 14 months ago. No disclosed ownership required. It invoices the fund quarterly, backed by real research documents from a contractor Alec pays to make everything look legitimate. $360,000 a year, disguised as an ordinary operating expense. You set the budget yourself, 10% above actual spend. Because coming in under budget isn't a red flag. It's evidence of discipline. Clean audit, clean opinion. That December, a photo lands your phone at 6:14 p.m. The CFO's empty conference table. On it, a quarter, 2 dimes, a nickel. You made real money now, not survival money. The kind that changes what you think you're allowed to reach for. What you reach for next is the dark. Level 3, the dark pool. 40% of U.S. stock trades never touch a public exchange. They happen in private venues, dark pools, where big trades execute invisibly and only print to the public tape after a legal delay. That delay is sometimes 15 seconds. 15 seconds is an eternity in electronic trading. Through a vendor credential that should have been rotated but wasn't, A scheduling quirk leaves a 3-day gap every cycle. You get a window into the venue's confirmation traffic, not the trade data itself. Just its shadow, the timing pattern a large block trade leaves behind before it ever reaches the public tape. You can read the size and direction of a massive institutional trade before the world sees it. Your algorithm fires within 400 milliseconds. Small orders, never more than a few hundred shares, spread across 4 exchanges, held for seconds, close before the print lands. $11,000 to $47,000 per event. 30 events a day, 4 months straight. Alec launders it through a commodity trading account that always stays just under the disclosure threshold, structured to look exactly like ordinary returns from a small systematic trading fund. Because that's exactly what it looks like. The photo arrives from outside the co-location facility. On the lobby's paper visitor ledger, a quarter, 2 dimes, a nickel. The attendant throws it out at shift change. You are now moving more money than some regulators' entire annual budget. The next level doesn't have a regulatory department. It has a nation's treasury. Level 4, the sovereign wealth siphon. $480 billion under management. Correspondent banks across 8 jurisdictions. A payment system running on legacy infrastructure that was never fully modernized after a budget cut years ago. It took 9 months of quiet, legitimate contract work, support tickets, low-level access patience, just to understand how the system's authentication actually worked underneath its compliance paperwork. At month 10, Alec has a recipient chain ready. 11 shell entities, 6 correspondent banks, 2 trusts in Singapore, 1 account in Zurich, each with 14 months of manufactured normal transaction history, so nothing looks new. The plan isn't one payment. It's 10 payments, $100 million, staggered over 31 days. Each one dressed up as a routine project payment the fund makes all the time, each one matched to a real public project code. The first payment clears on a Tuesday. In 4.3 seconds, it's already moved through 2 of 6 banks. No compliance system flags it. The payment matches a known project, a valid session, a normal historical range. Every recipient looks like an old, boring, established counterparty. Because that's exactly what Alex spent over a year building them to be. 9 more payments follow, 1 every 3 days. By day 31, $1 billion sits inside 2 Singapore trusts and 1 Zurich account, already blended alongside real, legitimate investments. At 2:31 a.m., the confirmation chain completes. The photo comes 3 minutes later, a marble reception counter in Zurich, empty pre-dawn. A quarter, 2 dimes, a nickel, $1 billion. 50-cent receipt. You put your phone down. The cursor has stopped blinking. Level 5, the Untouchable ghost. The fund doesn't know yet. It won't for months, because nothing about the transaction looked like theft. It looked exactly like paperwork. By the time anyone notices a discrepancy, the money will already be working, deployed into real, liquid, yield-generating positions, not sitting still, waiting to be traced, moving, growing, legitimizing itself with every passing quarter. Alec has done this for 7 years. He never rushes. He never touches money that hasn't cooled for at least 6 months inside something real. The eventual investigation, and there will be one, starts with a routine reconciliation months later. It traces to the first correspondent bank. That bank shows a legitimate payment to a legitimate beneficiary with over a year of clean history. The trail goes cold at the third bank, sitting in a jurisdiction where legal cooperation requests take nearly 2 years to process. 2 years is longer than the money needs to disappear for good. You didn't get away with this because you're powerful. You got away with it because you understood something the entire financial system is built to miss. It isn't protected by intelligence. It's protected by assumptions. The assumption that thieves are impatient. That big theft moves fast and loud. That complexity always leaves a visible edge somewhere. You gave them no edge. Just 31 days of paperwork that was technically true in every detail anyone could verify. Months later, you read the fund's glowing annual report over fresh coffee, positive returns, projects on track, a commitment to transparency, signed clean by the auditors. The cursor on your screen doesn't move. It doesn't need to. The architecture is self-sustaining now. Somewhere in Zurich, on a marble counter cleaned twice a day since that morning. There's no trace of a quarter, 2 dimes, and a nickel, but you know they were there, and you know exactly what they meant.